Hello.
Evening all.
Hello. Happy Doctor Who Day.
Happy Doctor, yes. Happy birthday, Doctor, yeah. Yeah.
23rd of November. Hey, blimey. Love that day.
He doesn't look a day over 63, does he? Let's be honest. But, yeah.
I suppose not. No.
So,
How
do
are you
you
doing?
celebrate the Doctor's birthday, Ian, at all? I'm just wondering. I have seen a bit of a chat on Tinternet of people saying they sometimes watch things to celebrate his birthday. Have you been celebrating today in any way, shape, or form?
Not had much time today, to be quite honest. I also had to take time out of the day to watch the cream of Leeds United get thoroughly beaten at home to Aston Villa, which was a really bad thing. I did do the usual 5:15 playing of the Doctor Who theme while standing to attention and saluting. That may have
Yes,
been a
we've all
lie.
done that. Yeah.
I watched a little bit. I watched snippets. I've got to watch snippets. I've got to at least do something. And for me, it was back to an old favourite. The first story that I remember in full, which for me was Planet of the Daleks. So just sort of like particular little bits from that always give us a thrill. The Dalek coming up the chimney, and they're floating above it and desperate to get out before that, and and the big Dalek army and the bomb dropping in it and getting it out, and the Daleks advancing just as the ice Kano gets triggered and stuff like that. I love that story. It's so many iconic scenes and things. So I watched a bit of that. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm quite sad. A friend and I had started a tradition of watching the first episode at
Okay.
5:16 on the 23rd, and so I did watch that with a cup of tea and a piece tonight before I came on tonight to do this, and I really enjoyed it. It's amazing how wonderful. I love all Unearthly Child. The whole story is brilliant. I don't take any guff about the cavemen being really dull. I really like that section as well. But episode 1 is amazing. It really is.
It's a good
It's such a
piece of TV.
fantastic piece of telly. It really is. But there's
Yeah.
one thing that really cracked me up though in it. It's when I think it's one of the flashback sequences. It really makes me laugh. I think it's when I can't remember if it's Ian or Barbara. This is my short-term memory first to go. Ian and Barbara talking about the flashbacks about decimalisation, and all the
Yeah.
class burst out laughing and humiliate Susan. And there's a guy in it who does this ha 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 like that when he's laughing, and it's a really it makes me laugh every time. He doesn't just laugh; he does that ha 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 thing like that.
But
It's
then,
wonderful, really.
I mean, if you sound at that, I can recall a bit that you're saying, because obviously we know that episode intimately, don't we? Like, we know pretty much all of it. But
Yeah.
you would think that people don't laugh like that. And then you hear somebody like Brendan on K9 and Company.
Oh yes, yes.
And that snorty laugh that he does, and you just think, that's not human. What's wrong with him?
Yeah.
Has he got some kind of nasal impediment or
As
whatever?
Sarah said, "Stop honking, Brendan." I think she said to him. Yeah.
Because that really was forced, wasn't it? But
Yeah, I'd like
yeah.
to say, Ian, could the chats that all the hellos are coming up here, and good evening. I want to say good evening to all our viewers, and thank you for joining us. There's quite a lot of
Yeah,
comments
absolutely.
coming up saying good evening. So
Yeah, we've dived straight in this time, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've missed a lot of those. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I want to say a special hello, actually, because I met up for the first time in 3 years with some people that I used to work with, and met with them midweek, had a lovely meal in Leeds, and they've subscribed to the channel. And they're watching the channel. They're watching the show tonight. So I want to say hello to Julie and Steve. They are fab people. So Julie and Steve, hello.
Hello, Julie and Steve. Welcome to the show.
So it's all nice to have subscribers. Yeah. So everybody else, please remember to subscribe to the channel, and tick the bell so you get notified, especially if we throw shows in, which we might have to do, because we were hoping for stuff today, weren't we, Paul?
Yeah,
sorry, I asked you that just as you took a drink, didn't I? That was really cool.
Yeah, you did that on purpose. I know you did that. Okay. But it's been a bit of a disappointing Doctor Who Doctor Who Day, Doctor Who's birthday day, isn't it? Really, it's been a bit sad. Not a lot of things have happened. I expected maybe at least, the very least, either get another announcement from animation or a season 21 box set coming out maybe in January or February or something, some kind of trailer. But it's been a bit of a damp squib, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, there had been that. There had been the odd rumor that perhaps there was going to be a missing episode thing, but I think that's probably more wishing than anything else, hoping and thinking that if you hope it long enough, it'll happen. But it's a shame.
I think it's still going to
you,
come. If it's wasn't today, I think it's still going to come. I think you have to have faith in film was fabulous, because I think it is coming. It's just not today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know it's coming, don't we, really? We know it's coming, but it's just a question of how many and when and how often, because I don't think they'll come all at once. But if any were ready, then I think today would have been the absolutely perfect day. But clearly, there aren't any ready, or there'd been a choice not to do it today. So fair enough. It's not something that we can dictate, is it? So we just have to wait patiently and look forward to them. But
I think Uncle Sydney wants us to mention this super chat, Ian. So that's your job. I'll let you do it.
Okay. Thank you to the John Keeley. Huge super chat there. Thank you so much. Good evening, gentlemen. Happy 62nd Who Day to you both. Thank you, the John Keeley. Happy Doctor Who Day to you too. What a day. Yeah. Well, there have been better. Let's be honest. We also have Digby Strawbridge, 6161. Thank you, Digby. A wonderful super chat from you too. Happy Doctor Who Day, gents. Please give JT our best. I am sure JT is watching. I am sure JT is watching.
Yep. He's tuning in. He always tunes in. Yep.
So, but thank you for that. We will obviously say it anyway when we speak to him, but he'll have seen that. Thank you so much. And Lex Kane, movies, TVs, 7826. Lex, thank you as well. BBC loses 1.1 billion as more viewers cancel or evade the TV license fee. Happy days. Happy days indeed. They've got that coming, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've got nobody but themselves to blame for that. The BBC have taken everybody for fools for years and pumped out propaganda and lies, and now it's caught up with them, and they're wriggling like worms on a stick, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. It's their just desserts, to quote a line from The Two Doctors. That's for Phil, just for Phil. Okay, so anyway, so it has been a bit disappointing, Doctor Who Day, hasn't it? Years gone by, there's been lots of lovely memories and things happening, trailers, announcements, etc. But today, we've not had all that much, have we? I mean, we had some wishing Doctor Who happy birthday from the team from the Fishy thing, which is most exciting. Again, that's quoting Peter Cushing from one of the movies. There we are, but
from the Fishy thing. It left me completely and utterly unmoved. I feel nothing for it at all. I feel nothing for it. I don't feel it's got any affinity for anything related to anything that I like in Doctor Who. And you've got a question, haven't you, apart from the monsters, which aren't even called the Doctor Who monster name anymore. Is it really related to Doctor Who at all? Because they're not, they're not doing what...
They're not advertising as part of that same canon, are they? They're keeping Doctor Who very much away from that.
Yeah.
Which, if that's a good or a bad thing, I'm not quite sure. Probably a good thing for us as fans, and a good thing for them as a BBC to make people watch it who wouldn't watch it because of Doctor Who mentioned on the front of it, because obviously it's not done very well. Talking of Doctor Who, though, they did give us very kindly, I thought, and I've not watched them, and I'm being truthful in this, is the deleted scenes from Shooty's last season, his second and last season. So, that was very luckily. It's only about 8 minutes or something, 7.5 minutes. So it's mercifully short. I've not watched it yet, but I'm wondering if anyone's watched it and if they've put in the any bits of Susan that were cut out that was going to be in the finale episode, the reality war. But hope not, because I'm hoping they're not going to use any of that at all anywhere. So.
Yeah. Do we really want to see any more of Shooty offcuts or otherwise? Outtakes? No. I mean, it was embarrassing enough, the stuff that they put on screen, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. Just to keep up with them as well, we have another super chat from Lex. Thank you so much, Lex. If they ever do one day a hard reboot of Doctor Who, do you think we'll ever do a Bobby in the shower type thing like they did in Dallas? I think if they'd refound common sense after Whittaker, and she'd sort of like regenerated outside the TARDIS and lost her balance and pitched off the cliff, and then as she plummeted down, Capaldi suddenly woke up and realised it was a terrible dream. I think that was the time for a Dallas-style Bobby moment. I think it's too late now. I think it's way too late now.
It is too late because they've made too much. There's been too much damage done, so I think it's not likely to happen. But we might come back to that later, because I've got a thing I want to bring up later about a certain Eighth Doctor. But we'll get to that in a minute. But in terms of things they've given us, they did give us, I suppose, which might be a bonus if you like it, is Murray Gould's soundtrack for season 10. Which has finally come out. Apparently, people were clambering for that soundtrack. I'm not quite sure why, but apparently they were. So,
what people? Both of them were clamouring for that.
All two of them were if you can clamber with two, yes, yeah. So,
I think for Murray Gold by season 10, all you had to do is play two of his previous seasons at the same time, and it's probably the same thing, isn't it? Really,
that's probably
he'd lost his spark by then, hadn't he? He'd really lost his spark by then. I think it was just very, very repetitive. Paul Ashworth, thank you so much. JT, please get well soon. Praying you make a speedy recovery. Thank you, Paul Ashworth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, we're all hoping for that too. He's a tough cookie though, so he's up for the fight. Is our JT, isn't he? Definitely.
Yeah, and we haven't spoken to him. He's doing very well at the moment, so we're all rooting for him.
Yeah. So, Paul, you normally keep me on the straight and narrow. So what's going on?
Thank you, Kirsty, for that. Yeah. There should be a Paul McGann drinking game. I definitely think there should be, without a doubt.
You'd be shit-faced in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'll get to mentions in time. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, what they did give us, which I think is quite nice, is the Wheel in Space soundtrack on vinyl. I don't know if our viewers have seen this, and that cover is beautiful. Thank you, Uncle Sidney, for that. That is absolutely beautiful.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
Lovely cover. And there's some great images and amongst that as well. What I've seen, there's a great shot there of the server robot peeking around the corner there, just outside the cover on the first sort of second page there on the top level. Looks great. It's a shame
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame it's not a brilliant Cyberman story, but I quite like it. I watched it fairly recently in one go with the recreated animation that couple did, the AI animation that they did, which is really good. Yeah, and it made a lot of sense of the story. Yeah. And actually, if they found any of this, I think it might be a bit of the old End of the World syndrome. It might actually be quite a good thing.
That front cover though. The front cover is gorgeous. If Uncle Sidney would put that back up again, the front cover is gorgeous, isn't it? The record, the vinyl releases do have some amazing artwork, but that's definitely on my Christmas card list.
It's lovely. It really is.
It's not a Christmas card list, is it? It's a Christmas list. That's definitely on my Christmas list.
You'll confuse Santa if you put it on your Christmas card list as opposed to your Christmas list. And he's getting on a bit, Santa. Now you don't want to confuse him, but
yeah.
So I wonder if any of our viewers have managed to have pre-ordered this or looking forward to it. I've already got the CD, so I'm not dipping in twice for this one, and they're really expensive as far as I can gather. But
they are, aren't they? I mean, I did just listen to it because I got some of the CDs on Audible as well. So
right.
Nowadays, if you drive in the car and you want to listen to something, they don't have CD drives, do they?
That's true. Yeah,
you need something else. So I got them on Audible, and I've just recently listened to this story again, and I really enjoy it, to be honest. It's a typically complex Cyberman story. But,
a very complex Cyberman plot, basically. Yeah, they've thought this one through, They've massive IQ to understand it, but that's fine. But
they've sat down, haven't they, and thought, what is the most complex way we can do something? And then they've overcomplicated even that. But it's really convoluted, but at the same time, it's a cracking story. One of the episodes that survives when the Cybermats attack that guy in the room,
Mm.
and he sprays one with quick setting plastic. But
Yeah.
when they sort of like shoot him, he's got one hand and then he's got another hand, and he's almost like he's doing some kind of bizarre dance before
interpretive
before
dance.
before they ultimately dispatch him. But dangerous things, Cybermats. So I'll just put that one over there. Got another Lex again. Lex, you are spoiling us. Thank you so much, Lex. New Stargate series coming out soon, late 2026 from Amazon and MGM with original production team. It's not a reboot; it's a continuation of SG-1. Right?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I dipped in and out of Stargate, to be honest. I liked the first film, the film that kicked it all off. I thought it was really good. And I dipped in and out of the series. I think Richard Dean Anderson was good, quite a charismatic figure. But it always seemed to be like every planet was somewhere in the Canadian forest.
Well, it had the same problem as every alien planet was a quarry in the UK for us. So we can't really complain, to be honest.
We can't. We can't.
Or the Black Forest or whatever happened to be for Castrovalva, Visitation or Full Circle, whatever kind of thing. So we can't really knock that, to be honest.
No, we've got no grounds.
Georgie Groundarian, I think, to be honest.
No grounds for complaint.
The first movie, though, I think, as far as I remember, I think John Bennett is in it as well. You know,
all right, okay.
General, what's his name in Invasion of the Dinosaurs? General, I forgot his surname.
General somebody, but it's also Lee Sen Chang, wasn't he?
Of course, yeah, as well, yeah.
That's going to bug me now. Can't remember the general. The general in Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Someone will tell us. Yeah,
somebody will put it in the chat, won't they? They'll put us out of our misery. Stargate,
so,
that had Kurt Russell in it, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good film. I guess it was all a mixture of science fiction and Egyptology as well, isn't it? Kind of in the same way that Primrose of Mars is a little bit,
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
So they probably stole it from us.
I don't doubt it. Sliverwolf, 1992. Sorry, everyone, I'm late again. You're forgiven, Sliverwolf. Life seems to be all over the place at the moment. I hope everyone's okay. We are, thank you, and we hope you are too, Sliverwolf. We hope you are too, but thank you for joining us. Right, so where were we? Remind me. So with Wheel in Space,
Wheel in Space, So I think this is next year's the anniversary of the Cybermen, isn't it? 2026.
It is,
which is probably why, because we've covered that in some of the other shows celebrating that anniversary. Is it 50 years of the Cybermen next year? So that's 60 years. It's 60 years, isn't it?
Oh, yes, yeah, it is 60
I forgot.
Years.
How could I possibly forget you? Because that's the same age as us next year. God help us.
It is. God help us indeed. Yeah. I mean, we have just passed, haven't we? Well, sort of passed. I mean, if you go back 59 years, then right now on TV was Power of the Daleks. So we have just gone past the 59th anniversary of the Cybermen. So around late October, it's a 60th. Wow. Yeah. And we'll mark that, of course. Of course we will.
Well, we have already, like I said, done some shows. If people want to look back at our back catalogue, and you'll see a lot of their celebration for previous Cyberman shows, which is really good. So there'll be more of that hopefully in the new year as well. Fingers crossed. But I have to just to encourage people to have a shot of alcohol to mention this Paul McGann story going on at the moment. Now, I've got we have a lovely picture of that Uncle Sydney had for us of Paul McGann in an AI picture with Billy Piper, the 16th Doctor, so the 8th and the 16th Doctor together. And there's been a lot of videos doing the rounds of Eccleston turning up with him as well for the next Christmas special, which is 2026. Well, so that's one good thing they did for us this year. As a kind of anti-Doctor Who birthday present, they didn't tell us there was going to be a 2025 Shooty Gatwa Christmas special. That was a bonus, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have seen the picture. I think the initial one was just McGann and Piper, wasn't it? Yeah. And then the sort of like wider shot and things like that. People in the background in masks and things like that. Yeah. But I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I see Piper as highly toxic now, to be quite honest. But I've got nothing against McGann. I think it'd be great to see McGann again. But outside of the clutches of a certain person in Wales Yeah, it'd be really good. But yeah,
What's
I think
interesting about this AI picture, Ian, is the fact that they've tried to make it look like the Eighth Doctor's got like some kind of new console room, and I've
yes,
seen, and it looks quite, for AI, it looks quite good because AI normally is a bit crap, to be honest. So
yeah,
it's kind of, and I find the AI a bit annoying at the moment, because not just because of this, but in general, because some artwork can be really good if it's done properly, and some of it's appalling and really irritating and very inaccurate, which I really
mm,
hate. But this TARDIS set looks quite encouraging and promising, to be honest, because it looks like, I've seen a wider picture of the console, and it looks a bit like the Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi console
yeah,
that they had
yeah.
for both of them, which looked quite good. But again, it's CGI, but it looked reasonable to consider it could be a bit like the Eighth Doctor's TARDIS from the TV movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know what you mean about AI. I think for me, I really, really like it when I see stuff that's been done by the likes of, say, Midjourney. You know, some
Yeah,
of his marching Cybermen are just
yeah,
incredible. And of course, who could forget the spare parts thing that he did?
yeah.
It was just those that were fortunate to see it before, obviously, it got pulled. That use of AI
Mm.
is fantastic. And I think our good friend Daryl Joyce, I think
Yes.
he used some AI to animate his, didn't he? Which is also
His
fantastic. I
reinterpretation
mean,
of Genesis the Daleks was
oh
lovely.
my
That was really
God,
gorgeous. Yeah.
that is just honestly, that is just absolute perfection, really. But yeah, when you see AI for stuff like this, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't you think? Yeah.
But I think,
But
I mean,
I'm done with Billie Piper. I can't be
yeah.
dealing with her anymore now. She's she's like that annoying relative that you can never get rid of, always showing up. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, too much now. Go
Well,
away.
her and David Tennant together, which is, kind of the thing. And I think, bizarrely, there has been other rumours doing the rounds that Paul McGann's been seen in costume on location with a police box in his Eighth Doctor costume, or the one he had for the last time he appeared in Power of the Doctor with Jodie
All
for the
right. Yeah.
Guardians of the Edge thing. And it got me thinking, because there's been lots of rumours, but next year is the 30th anniversary of the TV movie. So I don't know whether they could be bringing that out again, another packaging or some description with a little documentary with him in character, whatever, doing something, because that would make more sense rather than him coming back to do something in the Christmas special next year, because it's surely too soon to be filming that, really, isn't it? I mean, now they might film it maybe next year, early next year for Christmas 2026, but not now, surely. But
No, probably not. Probably not now. To be quite honest, no. I did just see on screen actually, Paul, a comment
yep.
from Jason G W2N. Tom
Hmm.
Baker was my first and fave Doctor. Ian, do you recall a Yorkshire TV series he presented, The Book Tower? Remember
Yes, we
him
both
so
do. Yeah.
brilliantly bringing alive the words of Ted Hughes, the Iron Man. Fond memories. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that was
I
Jack
think
and
they.
Nori that he did the Iron Man on, but the Book Tower was the ITV thing. So that's two separate things. So he
Yeah.
did do books on the Book Tower, and the theme's amazing. Go on YouTube; it's a fantastic theme on there.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think it was that done by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think it was, and then
Might have been.
Iron Man was on Jack and Nori, which he did after Doctor Who, because he's got like a shaved head almost on. He looks like Eccleston in that a bit.
I think. Yeah, Yorkshire TV. I think they produced it, didn't they? And it got syndicated around the country, so it
Yeah.
was seen pretty much everywhere. But it was wonderful. It was compulsive viewing, partly because it was Tom Baker, obviously. But yeah, it was good, and it did encourage kids to read, didn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, Tom
Yeah.
Baker though was. I remember a newspaper or magazine article with Tom, probably 2/3 of the way through his run as the Doctor, and it showed him slouched on a sofa with books everywhere, and he
Yeah.
said how he was such an avid book collector.
Yeah.
So it was obviously right up his street, wasn't it?
I've been watching Tom Talks on the season 13 box set, and it's brilliant. You should watch it; it's wonderful. But he was talking about as he's getting older, he's finding it easier to lend books to people. But he said when he was a bit younger, he had real reluctance to part with any books at all, and was very reluctant to even loan them to people, which I think is wonderful. But now he's a bit more laid back about it. He said, which is wonderful. Ah, lovely picture there
Look
with
at that.
K9
Look at that.
and a hand of Sutik again. That's wonderful.
We have another super chat from Lex. Again, Lex, thank you so much. A Tom Baker Doctor Who Christmas episode would be good. Yeah, it would. Anything with Tom Baker. A Tom Baker Christmas message. Never mind. I'm sure I'll be in the Tower of London for this, and let's face it, it wouldn't be the first time. But I could do without King Charles, quite honestly, doing his Christmas message. I would quite happily sit through a Tom Baker Christmas message to the nation. Couldn't you?
It'd be longer than 15 minutes, though, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. It'd be, he likes
Would
to
we
chat
care?
No, I'd love it. Would we
care?
I would love it
be there,
personally. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. A Tom Baker Christmas message to the nation.
But going into this rumor mill, I know we don't really do rumors, but I like to speculate a little bit. But going back slightly to Paul McGann again, there's been lots of rumours about what's going to happen with this so-called 2026 Christmas special, and there's been all this speculation, which is all probably nonsense. Every time there's nothing happening, the Paul McGann coming back rumour comes back all the time. We've had Omega and the Rani last season, and that was like a rumour mill thing for many, many years, then it actually became true. So, but they're talking about trying to do another multi-doctor story with as many doctors as they can get back, which will be Paul McGann and probably David Tennant and then Billy Piper. Probably that'll be it. But going back to someone else's comment earlier about doing I think it was Lex who said it about the shower scene from Dallas. This would have been a good opportunity if he's going to come back to do that and go right back to Paul McGann. That'd be brilliant, and forget Modern Who completely. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Yeah. That
would be a good way of resetting it and getting rid of New Who completely. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that at all. I'd take any of that, to be honest, mate. Yeah. I really would.
But like you said, if it's under the tutelage of Russell T Davies, it's not going to be any better than it was.
No, it's just going to be naff.
Yeah.
The BBC have this self-destructive obsession where they seem determined to tie Doctor Who and RTD together, and I just don't understand why you would do that. It's almost like victim and abuser, really putting them in the room together. It's
called Stockholm syndrome, isn't it? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever at all.
Yeah,
but never mind. So that was Paul McGann.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot going off in the chat, Paul. It's quite a lot. It's very lively in there. It's very lively in there. Thank you to our fantastic moderators, by the way. But
thank you very much. Yep.
Yeah, but it's good to see all the chat going through there. Saw somebody else had said, I can't see who said it, but somebody said, "Dear God, Matt Enspiel 9341. Please no more Billy Piper. I got tired of her character by mid-season 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Truff 1999. Evening, Ian, from your Wirral-based Who buddy. How are you, my friend? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you on the show. So what you got next? Because we're on a shortened, we'll just warn everybody as well. We're on a shortened show again tonight. We'll be an hour or thereabouts. So
the meter's running, so we'll do our best.
Yes. Mark Greaves 9356. Thank you so much for your super chat. Tennant is so desperate to stay. I'd just say desperate and leave it there. To be quite honest, so desperate to stay relevant. He's considering starting an OnlyFans page. Problem is, he doesn't have any.
What a horrible thought. I won't sleep tonight. That's just got really horrible images in my head now. Yeah.
People would pay him.
See that now. Yes.
Maybe it's one of those different ones where people pay him to put clothes on. I don't know. And Marie UK, WTF, what they've possibly, who knows? Let us know. I still can't get over Tennant charging all of that money for an autograph. Is he short on cash, or is he just that egotistical? I'd probably say the latter on that one, Marie. he can't be short of cash because he's been doing some, unless he's been dodgy investments. But thank
He's
you for
got
that
so
super
many
chat.
children to look after. He's got about 14 children now, hasn't he? So he needs to look after them, and their varying wardrobes that they have depending on what gender they are, particularly of which week they're looking at. So that can
Well,
be a bit expensive. Yeah, so
I'd imagine those medications aren't cheap either. So
but I mean, as we're on David Tennant, there is a suitable
figuratively
segue to
speaking,
this. Yes, that David Tennant probably does need the money actually, because he's doing an audience or an evening with David Tennant here in Edinburgh, which is
is he trying
um,
to look pouty there?
I think maybe he is.
Yeah,
But
needs a slap, really.
so I'd imagine he's getting a good fee for this, because he won't just turn up for nothing unless he's going to
Mm.
be kind and give the fee to charity, which I probably very much doubt. Um, but he's appearing in my local city here at the a fantastic theatre called the Royal Lyceum, and he's going to do an evening talking about his career. So I'm not going because I probably can't afford the tickets, but I wouldn't go anyway because I'm not really a fan anymore of him. I didn't mind him originally, but I've really gone off him considerably since he came back for the 60th, particularly.
Murray UK. Oh my God, no. Well, I'm afraid, darling. Oh my God, yes. He is indeed doing it. But yeah, it's not something that would appeal to me. Fortunately, it's well over 100 miles away, and the further the better where Tennant's concerned, I think.
We could have met up, Ian, and gone together and taken rotten
We could
fruit
have
and
done. We
veg.
could have heckled, couldn't we? We
Yeah,
could have heckled from the back,
yeah.
or even better,
Near
heckled
the
from the front.
exits. Yeah,
Heckled from the front. That shows balls,
yeah,
doesn't it? Really?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't
But
imagine that
apparently he's
being
going to talk about
exciting.
his career, because he had he had, to be fair, whether you like him or not, he has actually had quite a good acting career. He's done lots of different things, and they're going to explore the fact that he's done Hamlet and Macbeth, etc., and blah blah blah.
Mm.
I first saw him back in 1996, I think it was, or maybe slightly earlier than that, at Dundee Rep, in a small part, where he was in was it a play called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and he played one of the smaller parts in that. And my drama tutor was actually acting in that in the show at Dundee Rep, and Sandy was brilliant, God bless him. And Tennant had a small part. I met him briefly afterwards, but I don't remember a thing about that meeting at all. But what I do remember is my friend went with me, and he'd been working there the previous show, and Louise Jameson's niece was stage managing the show that David Tennant was in. So it was a small world in Doctor Who circles. That's before Doctor Who, obviously. But
Yeah. I first encountered him in one of the big finishes when I first bought Bog Fanish stuff, which I did, I think, up to Zagreus, which I think was number 50. And then after that, it had really, by that point, disappeared up its own fundamental orifice. So I just couldn't be bothered anymore, apart from the Dalek Empire stuff and the first series of Unbound. Apart from that, I didn't bother. But he was a unit major, I think. Was it Babbacombe Wood or something like that?
yes, it was the one that was a kind of the retelling of Mind of Evil, wasn't it? Kind of. With
Yeah,
David
something
Warner
like that.
as the Unbound Doctor, and Nick
That's
Courtney
it.
as the kind of Unbound Brigadier, kind of almost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a
I
really
mean,
good story. I quite like that actually.
I
And
didn't
Mark
mind the
Gatiss is the
Unbound
master in
series
it,
at
though.
all.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't mind the Unbound series at all, to be fair.
yeah,
But I mean, he was all right. He wasn't anything standout for me.
yeah,
And then the next time I noticed him, he was on TV on Casanova, and then of course that
yeah.
was around the time that he got announced as being the Doctor. Really,
Well, he was actually working in Edinburgh again. My mate of mine was in Look Back in Anger at the Lyceum with him, and I think Gareth Thomas was in that production as well, as far as if I remember correctly. And he got cast during that, within that production, because he had to keep stum about it. He did tell
right?
the kind of handful of cast, but he didn't tell anybody else apart from that, and really tried to keep it really secret. Um, but someone mentioned in the chat there about taking over the asylum, which is a BBC Scotland thing, which was really good. He played a set in an asylum in Scotland, Glasgow, and he suffers from mental health in it, and he's in the asylum, and he becomes the DJ of the asylum. So the like it's like kind of hospital radio kind of thing, and he's the DJ, and he's actually very good in that as an early part. He's quite zany, quite obviously a bit unhinged a bit in the story, but it's quite a good performance. But that was early on in his career. I did see a short film of his once at a screening at a student film festival, and it was about he was playing a character who's unemployed character, goes to the job centre, gets a job going to this factory to test skateboards, and he had to test the integrity of a skateboard. And the running gag was he test these skateboards by jumping on them, and every time he jumped on the skateboard, it broke. So when the manager comes back to check on his progress, he's broken about 400 skateboards and gets fired, which is quite a funny idea for a film. It's nice, yeah.
Never seen that, but there we are. David Tennant. If anybody wants to go and see him, have fun. Let us know how you get on, but we won't be there, will we?
No, we won't be there. No. But that's the thing. Maybe needing the money. That's why he's doing it. So.
Yeah. Maybe Georgia has insisted that he goes out and earns a bit more. Maybe he wants a new frock or something. I don't know.
For who?
Lex. Well, that's a very good question, mate. Yeah. Lex, thank you again. Your favourite Last of the Summer Wine episode is Foggy, or is with Foggy, and it's called The Most Powerful Eyeballs in West Yorkshire, where he hypnotizes himself. Can you imagine if the Master did that? You know, if what would happen if the Master hypnotized himself?
Maybe that's how he shrunk himself in Planet of Fire.
There's a possibility, yeah.
Because that was bloody stupid as well, wasn't it? Let's be honest. A bit clumsy, yeah. So.
Yes, he was experimenting on making a more deadly version of the tissue compression eliminator, the thing that every single time kills somebody completely efficiently.
And then he kind of dropped it, and then it backfired at him. Yeah. Oh, Butterfingers, yeah.
It makes you wonder what kind of mind process it is that says, this thing that shrinks people, that always works, I need to make a more effective version. And build a whole story
make
around
them even smaller. Just made it that's that size. Then, because when they got to, I think Sacha Dhawan, they were quite small, weren't they? But in Tom's era in Legopolis or whatever, they were Action Man kind of size, weren't they?
They were Action Man size, weren't they? Yeah. Maybe they'd been following the character options change in size for a while.
That might be, yeah.
You never know.
So the Master was trying to capitalise on character options. Yeah, that would be perfect sense. It's like a scheme from the meddling monk, isn't it, to be honest?
We have a super chat from the core of sci-fi fantasy. Thank you for your super chat, core of sci-fi fantasy. Evening, guys. I never rated Tennant. My two favourite modern doctors are Matt and Peter. I think most people would probably agree with you. Definitely. Yeah. I think Tennant was okay at the time. I think he did well for the series, gave it more profile, which led into Matt Smith, who took it and ran with it. But when he came back in the 50th, I was a bit, and then afterwards with RTD2, it was just no. The way he sort of just submissively took all that male gender put down and everything from Donna and whatever its name was. No.
Yeah.
He lost it completely for me there. And Andrew Swaney, 7871. Thank you for your super chat, Andrew. With it being Doctor Who Day, I wish there was announcements on what came next or an animated short. They could put it on the YouTube Doctor Who channel. All they've been doing, as Paul said at the start, is Shooty Gatwa outtakes and Murray Gold's season 10 music. So nothing really that you want to celebrate. It's a real shame. I don't remember. Do you remember the actual 10th anniversary, Paul? I don't remember the anniversary because that was Three Doctors, wasn't it? And as I said at the start, I can remember as far back as, well, the final episode of Frontier and then the full Planet of the Daleks. But I do remember the 10th anniversary special, of course, which came out at the same time. What about you?
I remember, I've got a vague recollection of seeing a trailer for the Three Doctors when it was originally on, and vague memories of watching it. And I remember the Radio Times being trailed briefly. And I do, like you remember, and still have a copy of the 10th anniversary special, which is kind of the Doctor Who Bible, really, or original Doctor Who Bible, really. And it's wonderful. And I think that's one of my favourite pieces of merchandise, without a doubt. But I don't really remember that vividly. It wasn't really until the 20th where I really thought, yes, I'm really into fandom massively, and that was a fantastic year. We've all said this, that probably 20th was probably the best because you were
Yeah.
around to remember it. You know what I mean? You were an avid fan, and you were really into collecting at that point, and you were aware of what was going on, with clips and books, the celebration, the 20th anniversary special, Radio Time special as well, things like that. So many wonderful things, but the 10th's a bit more cloudy for me. But
I think for me with the 20th, did you go to Longleat, Paul?
no, I didn't. I really regret that massively. A
Yeah.
friend of mine went. He went, and he is always rubbing it in that he went, and I'm really jealous of him massively. I was going to go, but we ended up not going in the end. And probably, based on what I found out afterwards, I've probably not got in anyway, because if we decided just to go there, like some people had done, we'd never get in. So
Yeah. I mean, if he winds you up about that and rubs it in, that's absolutely terrible. That's a terrible thing to do, isn't it? Did I tell you
just
I went to
teasing me a
both?
little
I
bit,
went to
yeah.
both days. I went to both
Yeah.
days at Longleat and had a fantastic time just to rub it in.
Thanks.
But what the real sad thing I think about the 20th and 1983 is that there were no mobile phones then. And I know that the world was in some ways a better place without mobile phones, but if there'd been the kind of mobile phones that we got now, can you imagine how much fantastic footage there would be of Troughton, Pertwee, Tom Baker, Anthony Ainley, Valentine Dial, all the other people that were there, all those fantastic names, those panels, and everything else.
Luckily, there's at that point was the kind of, although they have mobile phones, it was kind of the in thing to have a camcorder, like a big bulky bugger, like Only Fools and Horses kind of thing. And a mate of mine who did go as well, another mate of mine, he videoed quite a lot of stuff. He's got interviews with J&T and Carlan Fone and people like that, and some of the panels as well that they did. And we're lucky enough to have some of that footage on, I think, the 20th anniversary box set as well. So some great stuff, but not as much as it would have been if it was, wall to wall mobile phones. But there's some great memories there.
It's just sometimes the quality dips, doesn't it? But it is good. I mean, I've got some of the DVDs from Real Time
they're really good,
that cover the Longleat stuff, and it's it really does bring back the memories. It was an amazing time. Mark Greaves 9356, thank you again for your super chat. My friend is going to the theatre to see David Tennant. My friend John Wilkes Booth, he's an actor, don't you know? That name sounds familiar. Theatres.
Is he not the same John Wilkes Booth who went to see Abraham Lincoln at the theatre?
Yeah.
If he is, good luck, John. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Fine line of work. Good luck with it.
Yeah. I see your through line there. Yeah. So.
But the 20th. I mean, the 30th was fairly nondescript because there was no TV show on the air, was there? But we did have the 30 years in the TARDIS, and then the video release of more than 30 years in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
That thing that I think we've said this before. The actual more than 30 years was even better than the one that they showed on TV.
It was
fantastic. Was it John Davis? Was it John Davis? I think it was somebody Davis. Was it John Davis?
Well, not John Davis. I forgot his name now.
But it was Davis, wasn't it? Somebody Davis.
Yeah, Kevin Davis. Yeah.
Kevin Davis. That's it. Yeah. Apologies to Kevin Davis for getting his name wrong. At least I didn't say Russell T. But that was a fantastic. If you have never seen More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS, I suggest you look it out. It is fantastic. It really is. Yeah. And it had the first ever transition from the outside through the doors of the police box into the TARDIS console room, didn't it?
Yeah.
But,
the amazing thing was, I remember originally we talked about this before on the channel about Who's Doctor Who, the documentary with Melvin Bragg, and that was the first real documentary for me. That was a fantastic, one of my favourites.
That was peak, wasn't it? Sunday night, just after Talons of Wen Chiang had finished. Yeah,
and then we got 30 Years in the TARDIS and More Than 30 Years, and I think that surpassed Who's Doctor Who, because it's got so much love and care and attention, and some amazing clips of things like Heart Not the Farnborough Air Show and stuff like that, which is absolutely wonderful. It really is.
Yeah, and some fantastic recreations. I mean, Fraser Hines and Debbie Watling going through a recreated Dalek Emperor control room. Amazing, absolutely amazing. The time and effort that went into that. But let's not forget the other documentary as well that went on TV just around the time that they repeated Time Meddler with the animated Anorak. That was quite sweet in its own way, wasn't it? Really, it
made me laugh. It made me laugh because I don't mean I'm a nerd. I'm fine with that, but that really made me laugh. I'm sure it offended lots of people, but it made me laugh.
I'm sure, especially Brummies, because it had a Brummie accent, didn't it?
Even Brummies can be Doctor Who fans and nerds. That's perfectly fine. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Then, of course, we had the 40th, as you would after the 30th, which was just before. They'd already announced the series coming back by then, hadn't they? In 2003, and it seemed so far away.
Slightly after slightly after the 40th? Because we got Screamer Shalka with the now canon Doctor Richard E. Grant. So
yeah, I do remember the news and everything, and thinking it's a terribly long time until 2005, and that was 2003. But yeah, I can't remember if it was before or after the actual anniversary. And then, of course, 50th was Matt Smith era, wasn't it? Where everything was all change again, and the conventions in the Excel Centre. Did you get down to the Excel Centre at all? I'm not rubbing this in. I'm just genuinely questioning.
Yeah.
No. That was I got down on the Saturday. I think that was really good. That was really good.
I think Uncle Sydney was telling us that the Screamer Shalka was before the anniversary. I think, if I understood that right. Maybe he can tell us later.
I'm sure he'll correct us. Uncle Sydney's always right at the end of the day, isn't he? We have a super chat again. Lex, you are so generous. Thank you so much, Lex. Going with my sister Sarah, and on Monday the 29th of December at Liverpool. All right, Liverpool Phil. So I'm presuming that's Philharmonic. Jurassic Park full movie with live orchestra. And you got your tickets this week. Wow, I bet that's good. I bet that is good. Where are we? The announcement of the return was before November when Shalka was shown at Panopticon. Right. Okay. I remember you could download or view online the Scream of the Shalka episodes.
Eventually, yeah.
At that point, we still had dial-up. At that point, there was no broadband, so it was painful.
That's when you had to plug your phone back in here, didn't you? When you're finished using it, yeah. And pictures appeared one line at a time. You know, just one line at a time. Yeah. Do you remember that? I do remember that. Yeah. I agree with Uncle Sydney about it being a bit rubbish. They were going to do, if a Screamer Shalka, going to do like a continuation of it and do several series of it before they got cancelled because of Russell T Davies producing New Who. So
yeah, I've seen in the chat Uncle Sydney's written in there as well, and it was rubbish.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind Richard E. Grant. The author. You can take him or leave him for me.
To be fair, it was just like a big finish story. To be honest, so it wasn't that exciting. Yeah. To be honest, and I thought Richard E. Grant would have made a great Doctor, but he seemed very muted, very kind of restrained. Because normally he's quite zany, and I thought he'd be more zany, a bit like he was in Curse of the Fatal Death. To be honest, he was a bit more crazy in that. Not like the Mirror Handsome type Doctor, but certainly kind of being a bit more like him, because he's more like Jeff Goldblum or Tom Baker kind of character. You know what I mean? That's
I did like in that where he just referred to the Daleks as metal gits. I thought, well, that's a new one. Honest, that's a new one. I quite like that. But that's anniversaries for you. Compared to those, I mean, I know those were big number ones, weren't they? 40, 50, and the 60th is just best forgotten because that was. Yeah. That was an absolute abortion, wasn't it? The 60th
if they were big number ones, this anniversary definitely number 2 because it's not been very exciting, has it? Let's be honest. Yeah.
No, it's been thoroughly naff. It's been absolutely naff, really. But never mind. We have the hope of exciting things to come, and none of that relates to anything new. just relates to old stuff, doesn't it? Which is
Well, I'm hoping in the new
far
year
more
we might get
exciting.
an announcement for at least eventually season 21, or at least another Blu-ray box set, because I'm demolishing season 13 as we speak, and be desperate soon for another one. So yeah,
Yeah, it's 21. There's 16, isn't there?
and
And
11. Yeah,
yeah, 11. Pertwee's
yeah,
final. Yeah, that'll have me emotional, and I don't mind saying.
yeah.
So, Paul, time is getting on. What else you got
Yes,
for us?
well, so as we were talking about Russell again, and we've got a bit of a history with a certain free newspaper called the Metro. Stand by, Uncle
Yeah.
Sydney. And so we have an article to talk about, produced in the Metro, which has them criticising Doctor Who. Has Doctor Who failed? Here we go. So Doctor Who can't move forward with Russell T Davies in charge, from Rebecca Cook. Now, Rebecca Cook, you correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, is a new author in the annals of the Metro. So it's not
Yes.
our usual lady who was criticising fandom and Doctor Who eventually, but they're criticising the fact that have they made the right decision? Getting Russell back. And I have to agree with this article. They've made a big mistake getting Russell back. They should have just cut him
Mm,
dead and moved on, you know? So what he's going
completely.
to do with the new special is just going to be more nonsense and more convoluted crap, probably. So
It's interesting seeing that from the Metro because for a long time, if Russell T Davies stopped suddenly, the Metro would have disappeared up his backside. Let's be right.
yeah,
And now it's quite an about change or in their attitude towards him.
yeah,
Really,
yeah,
I think it still panders to him a little bit in the text, overly so. But the overall theme is quite interesting, and you can't argue with it. Excuse me, you can't argue it at all.
no,
He's made a complete balls up of it. He was the wrong person to bring back. He should never have been put back in charge of it. He should never have been brought back with no oversight.
yeah,
And bringing him back again for Christmas 2026 is borderline insanity, really. So, yeah, I can't argue with anything that article says, but it's interesting to see how they've changed their tone, really.
Well, I think people are beginning now to realise that actually, it's a bit like Emperor's New Clothes a bit, isn't it? It's kind of like they're beginning to see through the BS about him, and now realizing actually he's not the genius he appears to be. He's not as talented as he may appear to be, other than writing, gay-based dramas or whatever, like he's writing for Channel 4.
Yeah,
So he's kind of he can do that brilliantly well. Don't get me wrong, he can write that, but he's really kind of got Doctor Who wrong this time round. And we've said this many
yeah.
times before. Whether or not he got it right first time round isn't solely his responsibility. He didn't run it all himself then. He had help with other writers
No,
who were more talented. So it was a lucky break. It was a bit, I always think it's a bit like Star Wars turning up in 77. That was the right place at the right time for something to happen, and it just blew people's minds. Likewise, I think that happened with 2005 with Doctor Who's reboot. It really inspired people to watch it. I had friends who never watched it, said they really enjoyed it, loved it.
yeah,
So
me
that
too.
really
Yeah.
surprised me. You know what I mean? So it's the right place at the right time, I think. You know what I mean?
I think in that article there is a comment which we've said before several times. To be fair, that so they've obviously been watching Who's Views and taken up the general narrative and pinched it from us, but we'll allow them to have that. But I'm pretty certain in that article it says, or it does reference the fact that a lot of the better stories were not written by Russell T Davies, and like I say, we've touched on that a lot, and it's true. All the good stories, really, bar one or two, were not written by him. And then you see these two series that we've just had, if you want to call them that, and he's written pretty much all of them. And the ones he hasn't written, he's clearly had a heavy hand in. And it's been absolutely horrendous and probably destroyed the franchise. So, what do you do when you give it a Christmas special? Oh, let's bring him back and have some more of that. because
It's like,
you can
why
never
are you
have too much.
rewarding failure? It seems really bizarre, but it seems to be the thing to do.
The BBC
Someone's done
though,
really
isn't it?
badly. Let's give her another chance. Give her another
Yeah,
episode. What, really?
it's
You've already
it's the
wasted
BBC.
110 million, haven't you? So
Well, that's it.
yeah,
If he can't
yeah,
produce anything worth watching with that amount of money, what's he going to do with an independently produced one by the BBC on its own?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he might surprise us all. I just doubt it. The core of sci-fi fantasy. Thank you again for this super chat. I remember Grant's interview in DWM at the time. He was very dismissive of fandom and Doctor Who as a whole. I don't recall that interview. I would have read it at the time. I don't recall it. I'm surprised though, to be honest, because I mean he's got the fandom from With Nail and I as well, hasn't he? Which he's always played up to, really.
Yeah.
I
think though he wasn't really aware of how big Doctor Who was. A lot of actors aren't aware of, even though it's considered a bit of a cult, and that's not a typo, is the fact that it's quite a big series, and they don't realise what they're getting into. I think Shooty suffered from that a bit. He had no idea what he was taking on, and he didn't treat it with respect. Likewise, Whittaker as well. Whereas people like even Matt Smith, who wasn't alive when Doctor Who started, actually was respectful of the show. You know what I mean? And you do that, and you have to have an awareness of how big it is. Probably Stephen Moffat probably told him, this is what I get into, so be aware of this before you commit to doing the job. You know what I mean? And Grant was pretty much the same. He had no idea. Even I suppose even then it wasn't as big as it became after the reboot in terms of notoriety and being an infamy now that it is. But he wasn't aware of how big it was, I don't think, you know?
No, I think you're right. I mean, I see Scott Andrew Brass there. Hopefully there won't be a BBC come Christmas 2026. And yeah, that is always something that we can hope for. But I think it's interesting because they've got this thing, the fish thing coming up in December. And we've also got potentially clashing with that news over a period of time about different releases of missing episodes. Now, I know which stories are going to be bigger. I know which story is going to be bigger news and cause more excitement, and it isn't going to be the fish thing at all. But I think what we'll also have, unless I've got my dates wrong, by the time RTD writes and presents on screen at Christmas next year a Doctor Who story, will there by then have been the transmission of Camel Toe on Channel 4? Will that have been on by then?
I don't know. Maybe Uncle Sydney can keep us right on that one. I'm not really sure.
Because if it has, and it's typical RTD stuff, straight people, bad kind of thing, and very, very divisive, then I would imagine that his stock will have sunk even further. We could see sub 1 million viewing figures, although it always depends when it's on, really, doesn't it? Because it does sometimes benefit from a Christmas Day bounce just because people are plonked in front of the TV. But
even then, I think Shooty's Christmas two efforts didn't do very well, did they? Even his first one was fairly bad, very poor. Tony Farrell mentioned in the chat there about Mal Young being involved with Doctor Who in season 1, and he had helpful creative control about some of it as well, which really helped. Otherwise, it may have been more like what we got this year.
No, I think you're right, and again, we've said about that before, haven't we? There was oversight. He had oversight. People had firm hold of his chain, and whereas subsequently nobody had control over him. He was the biggest fish in the sea, in his opinion. And as he said in interviews, nobody dare tell him no. Well, that's what happens when people don't tell him no. You get viewing figures averaging 2 million. Yeah, great. You've just destroyed a 62-year-old franchise. Smart move. What are you going to do next? But Lex, thank you so much. I'd be more crying in his Christmas episode of 2026. Yeah. Probably will, but it might be all of us that are crying. Who knows? Who knows? And Murray UK WTF. If the BBC have enough money for RTD, they've got enough money for Trump. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Well, they can't do both, so they'll be paying Trump, I imagine. Yeah.
I hope Trump goes absolute beast mode on the BBC. I really do. They deserve all of it. They deserve all of it. There's so many people trying to justify what the BBC have done just because they don't like Trump. It's like, forget who it is for a minute. It's what they've done, and what they've done is wrong. But,
like I've said before, if you're creating stories to make Trump look bad, he makes his own headlines himself. You don't need to make him look crazy, or unhinged. He does it himself. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you're completely right. I did see a post from the Jason Parker. Love the show, guys. Thank you for doing such a good show. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank
you. Sending love to JT, wishing him a speedy recovery. He will have seen this, and we will mention We will mention it to him too. Thank you. And Andrew Swaney, 7871, thank you for this super chat as well. I think Who's Views should put their hat in the ring as showrunners, real fans who know what us fans want. Thank you so much, Andrew. We've thought ourselves, haven't we, that JT should have that job.
I think we've all agreed, though, that it shouldn't be run by fans anymore. It should be run by people who have more of a vision for the show, rather than, as people said, nostalgia is killing Doctor Who a little bit, because they keep bringing people back and trying to live off past glories and stuff, which is a real shame. You need to do what Hinchcliffe did and start afresh, have a good imagination, a way to go with it, a vision for it, and really treat it with respect, But
yeah, I think as so far as, say, if you were a fan in charge, you would have to be very, very careful to understand fully what actually worked for Doctor Who, what style worked for Doctor Who, what angles worked for Doctor Who, but not replicate what's gone before. So do new stuff, but in the right style and with the right approach. That's the only thing. The ethos of it is what you need to bring along, which they managed to do successfully all the way through to 1989, to be fair. And arguably, in some respects, in 1996 as well, because there were elements of that was very Doctor Who. There were a lot of elements that weren't, but but thank you, Andrew. That was a really kind comment. But I'd give that job to JT in a heartbeat, as long as we could all be on the team as well. No release schedule right now for RTD's Channel 4 TQ cult drama Camel Toe. Or it's got toes in it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Something to do with feet, anyway.
Isn't Alan Cummings going to be in it, apparently, as well? Yeah, I think he's in it, yeah.
I
saw that advertised recently, so he's going to be in it as well. So I was hoping it would be cancelled because it's out of date now, but never mind. But
yeah, that'd be potentially quite funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. So we are almost out of time, but what else have you got for us, Paul?
Well, we have one final little story that really makes me laugh. It's from Private Eye. It really made me laugh because this is quite a very funny story, and I'm really glad the punchline still goes for the Daleks can't get upstairs gag, which is inevitable now because Doctor's a bit of a joke. But have you seen this article, Ian?
No, it was only when you sent it through to me, but I thought it was so funny as well. Brilliant. Following the controversy over the edited Trump speech, the BBC has been lambasted for its negative and biased portrayal of a prominent right-wing pressure group. Daleks have been selectively edited to show us in a bad light since 1963, grated a spokes Dalek on GB News yesterday. They portray us as unthinking, homicidal, I can't say that F word, aliens who want to enslave the galaxy, when in fact we're highly sophisticated, homicidal, can't say that word, aliens who want to enslave the galaxy. The spokes Dalek continued, all those times the viewing public hid behind the sofa when they saw us saying exterminate, exterminate, a complete fabrication. The viewers were unaware this was taken out of context from a much longer speech outlining our correct position. The full text was, and I quote, exterminate, 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 exterminate. We have complained to the BBC before and tried to take it upstairs, but the lifts didn't work. Further proof of anti-Dalek bias. I think that's wonderful.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's a lovely tongue-in-cheek article, and I think it's wonderful that I'd vote for Daleks over Farage or Starmer any day. But I love the fact that even now it's still getting that they cannot get upstairs thing, which rankles me no end, but it's still very funny nonetheless.
Because
Because
the nerdy side
they
of
could
you.
fly in the 60s. They got upstairs in the chase on the Mare Celeste. They were hovering on the beaches of Iridius and stuff like that. They flew on the hover boats in the comics, all that kind of stuff. But it still makes me
They got up
laugh
that
when
great
they're
big
making
bloody
jokes of
tunnel in
it.
Planet of the Daleks, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and
But
they can
yeah, I mean,
swim in Dalek Invasion of Earth. What more do you want?
it's just not fair.
It's not fair at
It's
all. Yeah,
clearly a campaign, isn't it? It's a campaign to undermine their abilities and their skills.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's a very
yeah,
funny story, though. It really is. Yeah,
it is a very funny story. It is. It's something. Have you noticed by the author though, by our BBC correspondent Tim Lord?
Yes, I didn't notice that. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Very, very, very good. I think we have one more thing. If we can squeeze out a little bit more time, we have one more thing, don't we? About Sophie Aldred.
Oh yes.
So
Yeah, I think you
we've
know more
mentioned
about this
this.
than I do. So
Yeah, we've mentioned this before. She mentioned it. She mentioned it. This sounds very pally, doesn't it? She mentioned it in the back of the car on the way to a convention.
clang! Did you hear that clang? Was that name dropping there?
And there were just the four of us in the car, and she was mentioning it, and it was very imminent that she was doing it. That was the beginning of October, and the first episode dropped today, didn't it? At 5:15, to coincide with the time of the original screening of An Earthly Child in 1963. And she's going to bring various Doctor Who luminaries in to talk about their careers and Doctor Who and sci-fi in general, isn't she? I think there was a Radio Times article, wasn't there? And one thing that I picked up on this, which rankled with me a little bit, was that she was talking about, in her era and there not being any female representation in the space.
Yeah.
On TV. I disagree with that, really. She was the latest of a long line of female characters, certainly in Doctor Who, for starters, that actually were quite tough, were quite independent. Sarah Jane, Leela, both Romanas, people like that. Tegan, very headstrong. Nyssa, scientific, and all that kind of thing. I don't think Sophie or Ace were particularly unique in that area. And if you look at other areas in sci-fi, there were very strong female characters in other shows right through the 1970s. In things like UFO, Space 1999, all those classic shows as well.
Well, even in
but
Doctor
also
Who,
in other dramas.
Even in Doctor Who, when people like Tennant Roberts and Darrell Blake and stuff got people in and swapped the gender, like, is it man in Sunmakers, for instance, that was a male role and they turned it round and made it a female role. And he tried, and it was, they're always trying to do things that were progressive, regardless of what people say. They always try to do things like that in order to progress the show and give it more variety. And there's nothing wrong with that,
No.
And it works perfectly well. And then Darrell Blake got Beatrix Lehman in and things like that, and those kind of people. And is it Susan Engel as well to play Kaliak and stuff like that? Fantastic, really good stuff. Yeah.
And we've had comments, obviously, in film. There was Ripley and Alien, obviously, but on TV, we had other characters, like somebody's mentioned Joanna Lumley as Sapphire in Sapphire and Steel. Lots and lots of characters.
And Craig Dunlop has mentioned the Moonbase girls and UFOs. Steady the buffs there, Ian. Yes. Get warm in here again.
Yeah. Oh, Gabrielle Drake. Oh dear. But so I think that's just pandering to a certain 21st century narrative, and I've got no time for it, to be quite honest. But I wish her well with the podcast. If she wants to bring us on, Paul, she just has to reach out. And I'm sure we'd do her the favour. But
have you got a telephone number now? No.
I can't disclose or divulge.
Okay. Say no more. Who knows?
But yeah, good luck to her with that. I hope it's a success and everything else. And but I hope it's also strikes a balance and doesn't go too soppy and far left. But there we are. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I was just sick in my mouth a little bit there. I'll just have some water.
Yeah. So this is Mark Ayres on the set of the TARDIS with these. Who's that with him? Is that? Oh no, that's that's the butcher of Croydon, isn't it? I think, yeah. So
Yes, it is Mr. BC, who's
BC,
just
yeah.
about to release a butchered Sea Devils when no butchered Sea Devils was required because an
Or
edited version
to give a pun there, filleted Sea Devils, maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear, dislike him intensely. And there's I honestly, I don't know what that is in the middle. And Mark Ayres, of course, as well. Two people who have absolute zero standing of any relevance in Doctor Who
Well,
anymore.
I used to like Mark Ayres, and I thought he did a lot of good for audio restoration and stuff like that. But he's become a bit the cult, hasn't he? A little bit, and that is a typo. So.
I don't know. I just think this is just pandering to more trans ideology. Just look at this person. Let's make a statement of the fact that they're wearing a skirt and a very tight-fitting skirt by the looks. If you ever asked who ate all the pies, you have the answer right there. But yes, if Uncle Sydney would remove that from screen, because I really am feeling quite bilious.
I can't say anything. I have a serious pie habit myself, so I can't say anything at all. But
yes, but you're a seriously fine fellow.
Very kind of you say so. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my life! Look, we've had well over 200 people joining us tonight.
Fantastic! Thanks, folks. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's an awful lot going off in the chat, and we have seen that even when the show's finished, the chat's carried on for quite a while, which is really nice to see.
Love it, yeah.
But we're pretty much out of time. Longer shows will come eventually, but we are pretty much out of time at the moment. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your continued support. Hit that like button, please, because that really, really helps. Now we're getting more regular with our shows again. We need to make that algorithm on YouTube work for us. And one of the ways that it does is by your comments. So please, not just in the chat now, but do comments on the videos as well, please. Spark some engagement. We'll always try and reply to comments, but please do put comments in there. Ticking that like button as well really helps too, and that'll help move us up. And as I've already said, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and tell all your friends as well, please. And
check your subscription. We have noticed quite often naughty YouTube can unsubscribe you, so just double check again, just to be on the safe side that you're still subbed to us. That'd be great. Absolutely.
But until next time, or if we have any news about anything dropping as far as missing episodes is concerned, keep an eye, and we may be going live at some point. Yeah, fingers crossed and all that. But aside from that, all remains is, as usual, for me to say it's a good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.